Here's me, a little over 10 years ago. Now, a lot of sugar went into making this body, but it wasn't all sugar's fault. Bad exercise, bad diet plans, definitely some Domino's pizzas, all contributed to making this body. Now, it was pictures like the one you just saw, which was a driving force behind me losing weight and being in the physique and size that you're seeing today, tomorrow, yesterday, depending when you watch this. I may no longer have to take up 2 seats on the bus, but sugar still plays an active part of my diet, and it's something I'd like to try and change. Now, we all know that sugar isn't good for us. It isn't good for our teeth, it isn't good for our waistline, it isn't good for our mental well-being. Scientists have recently done studies using rats that show that sugar is a much more addictive substance than cocaine. Cocaine? That can't be right. There can also be behavioural problems and issues when people try and give up sugar. It's that much an addictive substance. This is definitely something I want to get involved in. Now men, I hope you're paying attention to this. Constantly high blood sugar levels can cause problems to the blood vessels and nervous system. Now this can cause problems with sensitivity, which in turn can give you a bit of a problem trying to... Yeah, that. After a stressful Christmas where we moved, health routines went right out the window. Now I wanted to get back to feeling fit and healthy, not flumpy and slow. I wanted to see what would happen to my body and mind if I cut out as much processed sugar as possible. I also wanted to show the kids that there's other alternatives to food, not just the ones laden with sugar. So, what did we cut out? Well, I think it's important to know that we didn't cut out every single thing that had sugar in it. We wanted to be realistic. We wanted to create ourselves something that we could trial and use this 1 month, but then we could use going forward for the months coming up. I think if we cut out sugar completely, it would have been incredibly impossible, especially as sugar is pretty much in most things nowadays. Otherwise, we would have sat there eating boiled rice and chicken every night. Ugh. Well, what didn't we eat? Well, we cut out all sweet treats, all baked goods, or chocolate, or peanut butter, or jams, or fruity yogurts. And we also tried to minimise the amount of sodas we drank. So we don't normally drink the full fat cokes and things of that nature. We normally just drink the diet versions, but even still, they're not great for our teeth. So, what did we eat? Well, we get bread, we kept mayo, we bought shop-bought pasta sauces at times. We had bread. Well, I mentioned, we also had bread. Right, well let's look back over the month and see exactly what happened, starting with the first week. Now, the first week, I didn't really have any cravings of note anyway. The only real thing that I noticed was I would wake up every morning and I'd feel happy. I would be in a positive frame of mind. And that positivity continued all the way through the day, all the way through the evening, until the next day. And it was very noticeable that was a bit of a change. The one, I guess, downside was towards the end of the week. I started feeling really tired in the evenings. I'd fall asleep on the sofa watching TV about 8:30. I did wonder if that was my body reacting to not having such a stimulus and an energy source in terms of the sugar, and that I was just sort of slowly adjusting to not having that energy pumped into me from sugar. But yeah, that was the first week. Well, into the second week now, and cravings did start to appear in the form of peanut butter. I just wanted peanut butter and jam spread all over toast, but obviously couldn't have that. So instead, I'd make myself a cup of green tea. That seems to do the trick. However, if I was really hungry, I would just make do with a piece of toast and a bit of butter on top. At least now, drinking all this tea gave me something else to do rather than concentrate on not having sugar. Into the third week now, and we're over halfway there. Tea and toast still doing the trick. However, I did have an urge for some squares of chocolate one evening. So instead, I got some banana, mashed it onto a piece of toast, bit of cinnamon, popped that under the grill for a few minutes, and that was really tasty. That felt so sweet. That really did the trick. It turns out that cinnamon can help to reduce the blood glucose levels, which causes insulin spikes, and this helps to stop sugar cravings. Who knew? At the end of the week, I started to get a really bad headache, one which I couldn't shift. It was there for days. I'm not sure if this is linked, but one thing I do remember noting down on my journal, at the end of one day, it just said cookies in big capital letters, lots of exclamation marks. I think I was starting to have withdrawal symptoms. And we're almost there. The last week is in sight. Now, I still had this headache from the week before, so I think it was on the Monday the last week, I made sure when I came home from work, I had my dinner, and then that was it. I had no screen time on any tablets, mobile devices or TV. I just went straight to bed and I read. I read for like 3.5 hours. I think I fell asleep by 9:30, up early the next morning, but that was it. My headache completely gone. In terms of sugar cravings, I had absolutely none that last week. Now, whether that again was mentally my body knew that was the last week, we're almost there, don't give up now, or whether it was just now used to not having that added sugar in my body. But it was sort of almost sailing through that last week, and I had no real side effects whatsoever. And that was it. The month was up. I had absolutely no doubt that reducing sugar in my diet made me much happier and much more positive during the day, during the whole month really. I've slowly started to reintroduce sugar back into my diet, and already I can almost feel myself becoming a little more crabby, a little more cranky, a bit more emotionally unbalanced. That's something I need to be wary of, and so I need to just remember all those pitfalls and all those downsides and just regain a nice piece of control whilst eating sugar, and making sure that I don't go to it for my default snack of choice, that there are other alternatives, and that, believe it or not, we can manage without having to consume so much sugar. It is possible, coming from me, the Cookie Monster. I'm not sure if that's a nickname that's going to catch on. Other bonus good news was, despite eating all of this bread, I'd actually managed to take my belt buckle down an entire notch, and this is with minimal exercise during the month as well. If you can find a way to reduce your sugar cravings and break down those mental barriers, reducing sugar in your diet can definitely go a long way to making you feel a lot happier, a lot healthier. There are so many benefits, I could easily do another video, but I won't. I think you could learn something very valuable about yourself by doing this, and I think inevitably you could end up in a much better, healthier place. If you've done something similar, I'd love to hear about your journey in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, have a good week, and I'll speak to you soon.